Top 9 female weaknesses every man must know. There's a lot of noise out there about how women think, what they want, and how to impress them. But what if I told you, you're looking in the wrong direction? Because true influence doesn't come from impressing, it comes from understanding, from reading between the lines, from knowing the quiet truths no one talks about. Today, I'm going to show you the 9 emotional, psychological, and behavioral weaknesses that most women won't admit, but every man should know, especially if you want to connect, attract, and lead with wisdom, not neediness. And no, this isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about becoming a grounded man who sees through the fog. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Behavior Insight, where we explore human nature, stoicism, attraction, and self-mastery. I'm Siddharth, and today we're going deep. If you've ever been confused by mixed signals, sudden distance, or emotional shifts from women, you're not alone. But when you understand these subtle truths, you won't just feel more in control, you'll move with calm clarity, not confusion. These are 9 female weaknesses that most men overlook. Yet once you know them, you'll see the game completely differently. Let's start with number 1. 1. Women crave emotional leadership, even when they deny it. Women are often portrayed as emotionally in control, independent, and self-reliant. And many are. But deep down, most women are drawn to emotional leadership in a man. What does that mean? It means being steady when she's storming, grounded when she's spinning, clear when she's chaotic. She may test you emotionally, raise her voice, pull away, or seem overwhelmed, and in those moments, most men react. They either argue, shut down, or become submissive. But the man who leads emotionally stays centered. He doesn't get pulled into drama. He sees it for what it is: emotional testing. Why is this a weakness? Because in those moments, women are actually looking for someone to anchor them. They're not consciously aware of it, but it's there. That craving for someone who doesn't flinch when the emotional waves hit. When you can stay present, calm, and firm, even in the heat of emotion, you become magnetic. She may say she wants equality in every sense, but emotionally, what she often wants is a man who leads her out of emotional chaos, not joins her in it. This doesn't mean being cold, it means being stable. And trust me, emotional leadership is a rare trait, but when you develop it, women feel something they can't explain: respect, safety, and desire. And those are 3 things no amount of money can buy. 2. Women need to feel desired, not just admired. Here's a subtle truth. Most men confuse admiration with desire. They think telling a woman she's beautiful, smart, or accomplished is enough. But women don't just want to be complimented, they want to feel wanted. This is where most nice guys lose. They admire her from a distance, shower her with praise, and hope she picks up the hint. But the truth is, women are turned on not by your compliments, but by your presence. By the way you look at her, the subtle pauses in conversation, the masculine silence. By the fact that you're not afraid to show interest, without making it your entire personality. Desire isn't needy, it's focused. When a man walks into a room and makes a woman feel chosen, not just appreciated, it triggers a deep, instinctive reaction. But here's the weakness. Most women don't even know how much they crave being desired by a man who's composed. Not the guy who's trying to prove himself. Not the guy who's passive and afraid of rejection, but the man who sees her clearly and calmly lets her feel it. That quiet confidence. That's the spark that admiration alone will never ignite. Desire says, "I see you." Admiration says, "I look up to you." And one of those makes her melt. The other makes her feel superior. 3. Validation feels like a drug. but it never lasts. One of the most under-discussed truths about modern women is how addicted many are to validation, especially in today's world of likes, views, and constant comparisons. And here's the catch: it never lasts. Women, just like men, seek external validation to feel worthy. But unlike men, women tend to receive it constantly through compliments, social media, and attention. The weakness? That dopamine hit fades fast. She may feel amazing when she gets that comment, that like, that message, but within hours, she needs another hit. As a man, when you understand this, you stop chasing women who are chasing attention. You stop competing with other guys for her surface-level approval. Instead, you watch, you observe. You let her reveal what kind of woman she is, because a woman whose self-worth is dependent on validation will never be truly present with you. She'll always be scanning for who else is looking, who else is watching. The Stoic man sees this not with judgment, but with clarity. You can't fix her emptiness. You can only protect your peace. Remember, your attention is a gift, not a bribe. Don't waste it on someone who's addicted to being seen, but has no depth in how she sees you. 4. Words matter, but actions control. Her emotions, this one's simple but overlooked. You can say all the right things. You can compliment her, text her back, be polite. But if your actions don't back up your words, her respect for you fades fast. And here's the real secret. Most women feel emotionally connected, not through what you say, but through what you do. Do you show up when you say you will? Do you respect your time, your goals, your values? Do you call her out when she crosses the line? Women are deeply responsive to masculine consistency. Why? Because it shows you're in control of yourself. And that self-control is what creates emotional tension, attraction, and long-term interest. The weakness is this: many women fall for words at first, but over time they start to feel the truth based on your actions. You can't fake strength forever, but if you live it, it shows without effort. This is where most guys slip. They say too much. They try too hard to please. They forget that leadership is shown, not explained. The Stoic man, he does less talking and more living, and that silence speaks volumes to the right woman. 5. Women struggle to respect men who can't set boundaries. This is a big one. A lot of men think being nice is the way to win a woman's heart. But in reality, what many women truly respect is a man who can say no, firmly, calmly, and without guilt. Why is this a weakness for women? Because it plays into one of their strongest emotional needs, to feel safe and contained. When a man has no boundaries, when he tolerates disrespect, flakiness, mood swings, or manipulation, he becomes untrustworthy in her eyes. Not because he's mean, but because he doesn't stand for himself. She might not say it directly, but a part of her starts to test him more, push limits, challenge his patience. Not because she's cruel, but because she's looking for where he draws the line. And if that line never comes, she loses interest. Even if she stays around, it won't be with full respect or desire. A Stoic man sees this clearly. He doesn't fear upsetting a woman by standing his ground. He knows that discomfort is part of being real. He doesn't need to argue. He just sets a clear standard and sticks to it. And here's the quiet truth. Most women will secretly admire a man more when he sets boundaries, even if they act annoyed in the moment. Because respect breeds attraction, and boundaries are how you earn it. 6. Many women can't handle boredom in relationships. This one is subtle, but very real. In today's fast-paced, always-on world, many women have developed a low tolerance for emotional stillness, what they call boredom. But often, what they call boredom is actually peace. And here's the catch: Women often sabotage peaceful relationships when they don't understand the value of stability. Why? Because drama feels like intensity, toxicity feels like passion, and silence feels like disconnection, even when it's not. This is a hidden weakness that even mature, self-aware women can fall into. They mistake the absence of chaos for a lack of chemistry. They start creating small conflicts just to feel something. The Stoic man recognizes this and doesn't take the bait. He doesn't chase emotional highs to keep her entertained. He stays grounded, centered, and refuses to let peace be mistaken for boredom. That's how you teach a woman, without words, what real connection feels like. It's not chaos, it's calm, and the right woman. She'll eventually realize that too, but only if you hold the frame and don't collapse when things get quiet. 7. Women want to feel safe enough to be soft. Here's something most men overlook. Women don't feel safe just because there's no danger. They feel safe when they're with a man who's emotionally grounded, mentally present, and physically composed. Women crave to be in their feminine, relaxed, expressive, vulnerable, but they can only access that when the masculine is strong, not forceful. This is where many men fail. They're either overly dominant and controlling, or too passive and accommodating. But real masculine energy, it's stable. And in that stability, a woman feels safe to soften, to let go of her armor, to stop performing and just be. The weakness here is that women often carry a tough exterior not because they want to, but because they feel they have to. And most men either fight that exterior or worship it. The Stoic man doesn't do either. He just shows up as calm, focused, and in control of his emotions. And without needing to fix her, he invites her to rest. That's the secret. Women secretly long for the permission to be soft. But that only happens when a man proves, through presence, that it's safe to do so. 8. Women react to vibes, not logic. This might be hard to hear, but it's true. Women don't respond to what makes sense. They respond to what feels right. You can say all the right words, explain yourself perfectly, even win every logical argument. But if your vibe is off, if you come across as anxious, needy, or unsure, she'll feel it. Women are highly intuitive. They pick up on tone, energy, body language, pacing. And when your energy feels off, no amount of logic will convince her otherwise. This is a hidden weakness because even when a woman doesn't understand why she's losing interest, her body knows. She feels turned off, unsettled, uncertain. And she may blame you for something small, but it's really the vibe that shifted. Stoic wisdom teaches us to manage our state, not just our words. To lead from energy first, then expression. So instead of over-explaining, start observing. How are you breathing? Standing? Are you grounded or performative? Are you present or reacting? Mastering your energy is the most powerful, unspoken form of attraction. And the best part, you don't have to say a word. 9. Women can't resist a man who doesn't need them. The final and most important truth. The one weakness that overrides them all. Women cannot resist a man who is complete without them. Not arrogant, not dismissive, just fulfilled, grounded, and purpose-driven. Why? Because most women are used to being chased, admired, and placed on pedestals. They're used to being someone's goal. But when they meet a man who's already deeply fulfilled, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, something flips. He becomes the mystery, the mountain she wants to climb, the fire she wants to be near. This man doesn't need her, but he chooses her, and that is intoxicating. The Stoic man doesn't seek validation through women. He lives by his values. He chooses peace over performance. And in doing so, he becomes the most attractive man in the room, not because of looks or status, but because he's unshakable. Women secretly crave this, even if they deny it. even if they fight it. Because in a world full of noise, the man who moves in silence is unforgettable. So there you have it. The 9 hidden female weaknesses every man must know. Emotional leadership, desire over admiration, validation addiction, action over words, lack of boundaries, addiction to emotional highs, longing to feel safe enough to be feminine, intuition over logic, attraction to the self-contained man. This isn't about exploiting women, it's about understanding human behavior, clearly, calmly, and with wisdom. Because the man who understands these things doesn't need pick-up lines, he doesn't need tricks, he doesn't chase, he chooses. And that choice is powerful. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to Behavior Insight. I'll be sharing more Stoic-based attraction, confidence, and relationship psychology content for men who want clarity, not confusion. Leave a comment below. Which of these truths have you seen play out in your own life? Let's build a space where men lead not with fear, but with presence. Thanks for watching. Stay grounded, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one.